Hi friends, welcome back to the channel. If you are new here, my name is Yvonne and you are on Ginger Chick Rehab. Yes, I am taking my junk pile load of tins and galvanized and just metal items, and it is time to take this grouping and make them over. So would you have picked up this beauty? Oh my goodness, y'all. And a lid. Okay, so the lid's a little stuck, but we'll work on that. But a blue older tin, and I actually paid up for this. I cannot believe at an estate sale I paid $10 for it, but it is gorgeous. And if you watched the first video on me making over these tins, you know, I don't want to paint them. I just think that is the patina that we're trying to get a lot of times when we're trying to make things look old, and this has already got it. It's a beautiful color. It's got that aged patina to it. So all I'm going to do is just clean it up with some Dawn dish soap and some hot water. To give this a little TLC, I'm going to go ahead and put a little wax around the outer lip, and that should help moisturize that so that that lid will come off a lot easier. I want somebody to be able to use this tin, probably not for food, but for other storage you could use it for. And I couldn't really even tell you, is this the original color or did somebody else spray paint this blue? There's some silver, there's some gold, and then there's that beautiful blue color. This decoupage paper is perfect for these aged tins. It's got the age already to it. You could leave it as is. You know, I like to help it along. But, so I'm just making sure that it's going to fit in, because this tin has some bump outs. I want to make sure that it's fitting into that spacing. So I'm going to go ahead and cut off little by little, making it fit in the area that I want it to fit. And then I'm going to go ahead and put some Mod Podge on the back of it, and I'm actually going to glue it onto the back of a copier paper piece, because this is going to make my image pop. Now, if I just glued this onto the tin, it would almost be translucent, transparent. That image just would not pop as much. So instead of painting or getting paint out and trying to paint onto the tin or have the paint bleed through the decoupage paper, it's just easier just to put it onto a piece of plain old copier paper. Now, why my Mod Podge is still wet, my paper is still wet, to give it that aged look to match the age of what the tin is, I'm going to burn off those edges. And now, if you watched my first video, you know that safety first. I've got a bucket of water there, so if it goes crazy and bursts into flames, I can just drop it into the bucket of water. But I just, since the paper is the decoupage paper is wet, it's really just burning off that copier paper that isn't wet, and then just touching just a touch onto the edge of that decoupage paper to give it that nice aged look. And now I'll just put some more Mod Podge onto the back of it, making sure that I get my edges really well, and then apply it to my tin. Then I'm just going to use my damp rag to make sure that there's no Mod Podge glue on the tin itself, and make sure that all my image is down and good and adhered. I'm going to seal my decoupage paper in with some Weather Defense metal spray, but I'm also going to seal in that bottom rust so that it's not getting on anybody's countertop. A couple coats will seal that in. It just amazes me how these plain old items are just being transformed into some amazing home decor. And I love the little sizes of that you can order. Not all of the decoupage paper I think you can order smaller sizes, but these grain sack animals, oh my goodness. So check out Sarah's store, the Piglet's Closet. If you are interested in any of these, I love these little pieces. So I kind of picked the lamb for this one because the brown of the lamb matches the rusty, crusty of this little milk can. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to actually do the same thing. We're going to glue all these onto copier paper. That copier paper is just going to make these images just pop. You know how that is when you start to play, you're like, I wonder if yeah, I had a little bit fun burning this one a little bit more, but I still have that original image because I knew that I needed to probably cut this one down a little bit more than I did. But it was fun seeing how much of it would burn off. It actually is better to cut it down and then just go closer to it because with the Mod Podge being wet, it doesn't really want to burn, but it gives you a little bit different look. Now, in this one, I'm not really trying to age the paper so much per se as I'm trying to give a little age to the manufactured rusty milk can. So I'm just going to actually add a little bit of the Jolie's black wax. Amazing stuff, y'all. Amazing stuff. I link that down in my description also. So yes, I'm just going to slightly touch on the can. I'll probably run it over the paper just a little bit, but as you see with that manufacturer, it just needed a little bit, it needed a little bit more patina. Now, unlike the other cans with lids, I just felt for resale, if I could fill them up with something, it would help. So these are berries that you get at that one section at Hobby Lobby that are just individually, they're never on sale, but I love the cream color of these berries. So I'm going to go ahead and fill this, and actually to make them so they don't shift around, I'm going to put some of the Dollar Tree floral foam in the bottom. I don't ever glue it in. If you get it tight enough in there, it usually will not move around. And remember I said so it doesn't move around. So I have some of this crinkled up paper that came in at a state haul. You can get the crinkled paper actually at the Dollar Tree, or you can make it with your own shredder if you wanted to. But just something to pack in there to not let your florals move back and forth, and just kind of, I picked the brown because I thought it played with the browns in the papers. And then I actually had this leftover fabric from another project. I thought the age of it went wonderful. And then I grabbed my berries back out, and I kind of was playing around because I had some other berries. And unfortunately, you're going to see the thrift haul of the estate sale where I got a lot of the items in these makeovers. Sometimes I only show one haul a week, so sometimes these items are just looking at me, just waiting to be made over, and my inspiration is there. So just like tin items, I am drawn to these little buckets. I believe they're called sugar buckets. And I've had this one for quite a while, and it didn't interest anybody as is. So yes, it is time to give it a makeover, though. The handle is beautiful. There's just something about a two-toned feature. I'm going to go ahead and take the time and tape off that handle. And I'm actually going to be spray painting this one. So I'm going to go ahead and protect the inside. I love leaving wood features and taking the time to tape off areas. For me to give that clean line is just a personal touch. So I'm just taking a X-Acto knife and getting it cut close to that edge. So I actually wasn't sure if my new colors from Painted Heirloom were going to come in time for this video, but I thought I would still share some of the spray paints that I had picked up. So this Coastal Sage caught my eye, and I thought, oh, I have to share this nice spring color with you all. Oh, yes, there's just something about removing that tape and seeing, yep, that was well worth my time. For spray paint out of a can, I'm actually impressed. One coat, one coverage. It looks really good to me, and I love the color of it. So I'm going to be using the smaller grain sack with the animals in it. These are the small sizes, and I'm just going to fit that cute little bunny rabbit on here. See how the brown of the bunny rabbit plays with the brown of the wood feature that I left on this bucket. Much as I love Waverly's antiquing wax, I am just equally obsessed with this antiquing glaze from Fusion. Oh my gosh. So if you don't want to distress the piece, it just gives it that light hue. It picks up in those detail areas. It's not dark. Oh my goodness. I already need to order more of this because I really love using it, especially when it comes to on these painted pieces. Y'all, wait till you see this haul that I'm using a lot of this greenery from. I'm sorry that it just sometimes it just cannot go into order yet again because I only show one haul video a week. You all rather see makeovers mostly. So I've got Dollar Tree floral foam in the bottom of this, nice and tight. I have some thrifted grasses. Y'all, I love thrifting items. And being able to reuse them. And this greenery, same thing came from the estate haul. So I'm just clipping those wires down. Look at this beautiful green. I don't even know what it's called. Oh my gosh. So I have enough of it to do this little bucket. And the nice thing about it is I want that handle to stand up. And so I can weave my greenery on either side of it. Oh, y'all. This is another one of those buckets that I made over, and there it sits. So, hello, let's get some color. And fast shipping from Painted Heirloom because I had ordered when I had this inspiration, and within days it came. So, yes, there again, I like to save some of my features and protect my metal. So, I'm going to go ahead and tape that off. But yes, I have some fusion paint that I'm going to be coloring this up with. Now, this is a beautiful color, French eggshell. Oh my gosh. So, I'm going to paint right over The metal wire, I actually, on this bucket, I had to replace the wire because the wire was missing. So it doesn't really matter if I paint over it because they're not exact match, and I'm going to be distressing this. But I'm just going to very gingerly not try to touch the bottom and then just touch the top just a little bit, still leaving some of that brown feature. But this paint is so nice with the primer and the top coat. It goes on like butter. It's just a nice, smooth. I haven't been able to tell a difference in like what paintbrush I use. I like the softer bristle paint brushes personally, but I love the coverage of this paint. Now to tie this all together with that brown paint that I had previous painted it, I'm going to go ahead and use my orbital sander to distress it, just letting it hit, going down. I don't even remember what the original color of this was before I painted it. I think I mixed a whole bunch of things to get it to be the brown that it was when I originally painted it myself. Now, sometimes you just have to make that decision visually. I didn't like how it was going over one wire, not another wire, so I pulled it up a little bit higher um, and had it covering up the wire. I mean, you just have to make a decision. You have to love what you're doing and do it until you love it. So I made the decision to raise my little piece up higher. There's just something about the pop of green this time of year. This is actually some Target Dollar Spot greenery that I've had in my stash for a while, so it's nice to finally have a item that I can envision using it on. So same thing, I love that I can separate it in between the handle, fill that floral form nice and tight with some of the brown grass and that pop of green. Just, oh my gosh, we're just I don't know about you all, but here in Michigan I'm ready for some more green. Because I pulled that up, it kind of looked odd to me. It needed a little bit more. So I'm adding a piece of some more of that fabric that I used earlier. I think the age of it matches the age of that paper. Just something a little bit unexpected. You know, it doesn't always have to be traditional. I just absolutely thought it needed a little bit something, but a ribbon up high just was not what I was envisioning. And then I'm going to actually add a little bit of instant coffee dye to that ribbon that I just added. Simple, simple, simple. Just some instant coffee, add some water, just a mist, and I'm just taking my finger and I'm just dabbing it. That will really tie the age of that decoupage paper with the age of this ribbon. It's just a quick little transformation. And yes, I actually did pick up this basket just for the purpose of making it over because the burgundy on this reminded me of the rooster. Oh my goodness. So I think that we'll be able to put decoupage paper on this, but it's going to need a little something extra. So I'm actually going to put my decoupage paper on a piece of coffee stained, tea stained drop cloth. So I actually switched over to the smaller of the decoupage paper. The bigger one was a little too big. I didn't want to cut that much off of it. And if I had the other one as an option, I'm going to go ahead and use that. Now, I do think I could have put the decoupage paper right onto the drop cloth fabric itself, and it would have been enough backing to make the colors pop. But what I like about adding the copier paper to the back is the sturdiness that it gives. Not only does it pop the colors and make them vibrant, it also gives that paper a little bit more structure. And I'm definitely a lot more comfortable burning those edges with that copier paper backing. I really do love the edges. Oh my gosh, I just a little obsessed here. But now I'm just picking out what spot of the drop cloth that I want. Of course, I want the spot that has more of the patina on it. Now, you know what happens to paper once you wet it. It wants to roll. So I can't say that it actually wanted to stick onto the drop cloth, but I felt as if I get all my corners glued down and I grab some parchment paper and a no steam iron, I can talk it into attaching itself to that drop cloth. And personally, I really like the fray bottom, so I'm going to go ahead and fray the other three sides. Drop cloth naturally wants to fray, so all I have to do is start pulling off a couple of the strings and I will get those fray edges. Now that I have the edges the way that I want them, I'm going to add a little bit more patina because I really like that patina in that one corner. So just a little bit more of that instant coffee. It doesn't matter if it gets on the paper. Actually, um, ironing that paper down onto the drop cloth, just oh my gosh, it is attached, y'all. So that's all I'm doing is just a little bit of that instant coffee and some misty water, and I will kind of squish it in there, dab it in there. I like that aged patina, which is of course a personal preference. I know not everybody likes it. Now I'm still working with this while it is wet because as the basket weaving goes, I'm going to have to kind of talk it into those spaces. So we're going to Mod Podge the back of this drop cloth piece. You can see it's still wet, but Mod Podge is water soluble. So it all will work together. It's not going to prevent it from sticking. But I know that I'm going to need a little bit generous amount. Not so much that it's coming through the inside, but just a generous amount of the Mod Podge on the back of it. Now going into my stash, these are actually something that I used to have in my own decor, and they need something that they are a pipberry with a fabric little button of a flower. They are just so cute. So I'm happy to be able to recycle these and reuse these. So same thing, nice tight floral foam. I'm filling it up with some of that grass. This was a bag. Yeah, I picked it up secondhand. Gotta love that. So yes, and on these ones, I'm going to need to cut them down. They have a nice thick stem, but one of my things I don't do a lot on the channel is flower arranging, and I really do love doing that. So yes, y'all, I love decoupage paper. I loved ordering smaller sizes, sharing the process, that burning technique. Did I scare anybody? Did I scare you all? So yes, this will probably be the same intro, extro, whatever, for all 3 videos, because they just, when I started to put them all in one video, it was going to be hours. It was just going to be hours. So I tried to break them down into groupings, so you may not see these all right in the same order. Yeah, you might, of each other. It's just how everything falls in line. But oh my gosh, that burning technique is now always going to be my go-to. I was over safety first, y'all. Adding colors, taking those items that are always overlooked and putting something amazingly beautiful on them. Oh, y'all, they just have my heart. And coming up with the idea of how to use thrifted greenery and flowers that are, that's too nice. I need to, wow. Anyway, you guys, I hope I have inspired you. Give me a quick comment down below if I have inspired you in a new way to look at secondhand finds. Yes, everything that I used is down in the description box, along with the decoupage paper, the links for that, along with Vonda Store, the Painted Heirloom, where you can get colors if you are ready to transform, like me, moving all from the black and white and doing a little bit more colors out there. So thanks again for watching, guys, and as always, if you're part of our YouTube family, thank you so much. And if you are new and you're checking out this channel for the first time and you liked what you saw, please hit that subscription button along with the notification bell so you know if I uploaded a new video. And we will see you next time, guys, and you can see what we're up to. Bye!